everyone. Thanks for joining us. This is Sipping Tea with Nat and Z. I'm Nat.
And I'm Z.
Happy New Year! Bam, 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 bam.
We're back, bitches.
Oh, Happy New Year, Reef.
Yes, happy New Year.
What'd you do?
Okay, so that was December 31st, correct?
I think that's when it is. Yeah, I think so.
I didn't do much of anything. Like the last few weeks of the year, I had to take off because Charlie was out of school.
Mm-hmm.
So I was off, and that's generally pre-child. That was my I'm just going to do me time.
Correct.
Now that I have a child, I got to make sure she's straight. So that's it. And then my birthday was this past weekend.
Happy birthday.
So that's technically my new year. Fuck January 1st. My new year is January 2nd. And I threw my back out. So there's that. And so I really didn't get to do everything that I wanted to do on my birthday.
Maybe you were doing what you were supposed to be doing.
Hello, good morning. Yes, that's
some time of reflection because you couldn't do anything else.
Maybe that is true because I like to turn up on my birthday, and I was outside, but not for long. I was outside, but not for long. And then yesterday, my husband, he gifted me with a spa treatment. So I did that yesterday. And I am sore. Like, I am sore all over. Everywhere is sore. Everywhere hurts. Yes.
From the spa
I have a lot of
treatment?
knots. Yeah.
Oh.
I had a massage. So,
okay.
And I'm very tense. So I think she's worked the knots out, but it's like a good hurt. It's not a bad hurt. It's like,
okay.
You know what I mean?
Hurts so good.
Yeah. Like the only other person but I'll say this, it wasn't the best massage I've ever had, but it wasn't the worst.
Mm-hmm.
One of the roughest massages I ever had was actually at Tisha's house for my bridal shower when y'all had that woman come to she hurt me good. She hurt me bad. She hurt me bad, but it was good. So
Goodness.
So what about you? How was your New Year's?
It was kind of chill. We kind of did went to the neighbor's house, really low key. Played Taboo.
Mm-hmm. I haven't played that in a while.
Yeah, and we played that till like 4:00 in the morning.
Oh, fun.
After I think there was like maybe one or two shots, if that. Mm-hmm. But everyone was, enjoying themselves, watching TV, watching the different shows, and then we started playing games and stuff like that, and it was cool, low key.
That's you know what? The older I get, the less I'm interested in partying. However,
yes.
And this is part of our episode today. It's review and renew.
Mm-hmm.
So reviewing 2022 and kind of renewing ourselves for 2023. One of the things I did say that I was going to do is be more intentional about certain things and make sure that my time is well spent.
Yes.
With people that I want to spend the time with. It's more about quality now than quantity.
Yeah.
And if I don't want to be around you, I'm not going to do that because there are a lot of people that did not get to transition into the new year. Someone that we know personally did not get to transition into the new year. This individual died at 46. And so, that just put a renewed outlook on things for me because I know too many people who have died now in their 40s. So, I'm just really going to be intentional with my time, making sure that it is well spent with the people that I really love and care about. So, I said all that for a reason. Oh, that I am going to make sure that I do show up to things, right? That I am, if I get invited and it's something that I want to do, that I will show up. You know
Understood.
what I mean? Because time is not...
frivolous. Don't spend it frivolously.
Don't. today I had a conversation with a coworker, and they were like, "Ooh, you just turned 46." I was like, "Yes, indeed." They was like, "You almost 50." I was like,
Right.
"Damn!" And they
Well,
said 50 was
hello, goodbye.
old,
Thank you.
and they told me 50 was old. And I will say this,
Oh
and
my gosh.
if anybody is 50 or approaching 50 or a little over 50 listening to this, this is not anything that I want you to dwell over. But I just realized when we hit 50, it's downhill from there, because
It is not
it's like
downhill.
we'll be on Earth. We don't have that much time. We'll be on.
Oh my Lord.
We have less time than we've actually been on the Earth at that point, right?
I mean, yeah, I guess. Well, my grandma's
Think about
listened to it. Just I don't know. I'm gonna lean into that
Well,
for
lean
a
into
little bit.
it, but on average,
On
not
average,
looking
yeah.
too good for
But I
us.
can't say it's all downhill, because if I'm trying to be like Cicely Tyson, how old
Well,
is she?
yeah, I would like that, but I mean, I'm just saying the way that the world is going now.
Well,
I mean,
yeah, it's a special place.
it's a very, as we will find out later on, this world is a very special place.
Oh my goodness.
I understand we have not seen aliens in ever, because, well, in our generation, because why would they come here? This place
It would
is
like
bad.
zoom right past and be like, really? Is this what y'all got
This
going
place,
on? Goodbye. Let's go to
it
the
is.
next solar system.
It is not given what it was supposed to be given. I don't know what it was like during Adam and Eve's time, but it is not this way now, Lord.
He said that, Lord.
I mean, the U.S. is a third world country posing
Well,
as a superpower. We're not
he
even a
said
superpower
posing as
anymore.
a superpower.
We are literally a third world country. We are. We are. You know what Charlie asked me the other day? She was looking at her Twitch. She's like,
Excuse
"Mom."
me, go ahead.
She's like, "Mom." I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Why does everything said made in China?" I said, that is a lot to unpack.
That's a good way to
That is a lot
respond.
to unpack there.
That
But
is.
yes, I mean, to just be, because we're a third world country, baby. That's all you need to know. We're just a third. We don't do anything here. We just outsource everything.
We do outsource a lot.
Everything.
Yeah.
The only thing we have going for us is the entertainment business, and that's why they have been trying to save it for so long. Because, I mean, movies and music is what we're known for, but that's sad. Not education, not Nobel Peace Prize winners.
Yeah, that's
We're
not
known
it.
for twerking and TikTok dances.
But TikTok, isn't that from China?
Yeah, but their algorithms are not the same. Their algorithms are not the same. They don't show what we show.
Yeah, my sister did say that. They're so much restricted. As soon as we go in, when we visited, she's like, yeah, you're not going to be able to do anything online.
No, it's giving very much, we're just going to let Americans get dumber and dumber. That's what the algorithms are giving. But
attention spans are shrinking, so
they are. But let's go ahead and get into the tea of the day. We are not tea experts. You should speak to your doctor when drinking herbal tea, because there are potential side effects when mixed with some medications. This should not be a substitute for medication. We're not affiliated with any of these companies, nor are these endorsements. So,
yes. So the tea on the table today. So I kind of came at it from a different angle as we're going into this new year. There's some trends in the tea industry that different ways that they're going to be coming at you and to make your tea experience a little bit more immersive. So, and marketing, trends and whatnot. So, some folks are saying, am I too loud?
no, you're good.
So, most tea trend industry experts are saying, make it an experience. They want you as a customer to feel immersed in the culture of tea and being able to be educated about what you're drinking, being knowledgeable about what goes with what, how the process of tea is made and why different tea strains may be good for different herbal impacts, and why it's such a big thing now and interest now with the wellness community, or it's more enhanced now, even though it's been around for hundreds of years. Looking at why consumers are choosing different teas, a lot of what I just said about what if it's for a herbal experience, for a health experience, or you're just going for the taste of the tea. And a lot of folks want something really quick and ready on the go, And so a lot of industry experts are trying to figure out what the consumers want to be able to take their teas with them. There's little canisters now that you can put the tea in the top and take it with you. I think,
Mm-hmm.
that you can buy, and I think they have them at Starbucks and stuff. And that's in response to what the market industry is saying. And then
Right.
also how they're building fusion flavors, and
Oh,
mixing all
yes.
different things.
Yes.
Like that tea guy that we saw on IG,
Minty Bong.
Minty Bong, and all the different
Hmm.
ways they're combining
I love
things.
him. I
Yeah,
love him so
right.
much.
So
I
there's
just
the
love him.
industries are trying to mimic what's being naturally made, but they're
Hmm.
trying to see if they can make it on a broader scale. But I think what the authenticity can be lost sometimes when you do that. So
Yeah.
just some, tidbits of what's going on in the industry and how they may be trying to listen to you
Oh,
if you have responded with how you want to receive your tea.
that is interesting. Ah, I
Oh,
love it. Um,
please.
Usually we take a break here, but we don't need to. We can just go straight into what it is
Mm-hmm.
because, hello, good morning. We don't have like a format like we normally do. So
Hey, New Year.
it's
It's
a new
my
year, new us bitches. So anyway,
day.
so basically what we wanted to do first was just kind of review, recap, whatever, rewind and go back to 2022 because there were a lot of things that
Hmm.
happened towards the end of 2022 that we didn't get to discuss because we were enjoying ourselves
Yes.
and taking a much needed reprieve for the holiday season. So the first thing I wanted to get into was the whole Megan the Stallion, Tory Lane situation, or the state of California versus Tory Lanez, because that's what it was about, right? Megan never
Hmm.
wanted to press charges. She didn't press charges. She said she didn't want to press charges. She didn't want to press charges because of what this country was going through during that time period. Well,
Right.
specifically Black America, where we were seeing Black men being slaughtered by police constantly, Black men and Black women. And she
Hmm.
didn't want him to be in that situation. And this tells you where Black women's protection of Black men come in, because she was willing to protect someone who harmed her so that he would not get harmed.
Right.
Think about that. Take that into consideration. um the thing that really gets me going about this particular situation is, like, you could talk to people and they'll say, I really don't care one way or the other, right? And that's true. If you don't care about stars, then this isn't anything different than something you would see on court TV. Okay.
Right. Hmm. Hmm.
But I feel like the people who are invested in this from a negative perspective are invested in this because they don't like Megan. They hate her and they
Oh.
hate everything that she represents and everything that she
Oh
stands
my
for, which
goodness. What hate?
ultimately means that they don't like Black women. Okay? Because that's what it comes down to. Because I don't understand why you would not want to be there supporting her for the harm that this man has done to her. But whatever.
Because I think it's a jealousy thing for some women.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's a jealousy thing for some women because think about what she looks like, what that she's just in your face, unapologetic. That's why her and Cardi are kind of in the same lane, but not. She kind of brings
Mm-hmm.
a different flavor to it.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of women know that if they have significant others, that is sometimes where their attention leads. So that makes them angry. So that's where I think some of the anger comes from. And look, I mean, think about all the BBLs. How quickly did the BBLs jump up since Megan been out?
I mean, BBLs have always been, but I get it.
You
Like,
see what I'm like, the
she's very
correlation.
right, and she's natural, right? I feel like we're just in a state of negativity and dysfunction
I
right now,
agree. Very
which,
critical.
but I feel like, honestly, I feel like there's an attack on Black women, and any
Well,
Black woman that presents herself as strong, as independent, as smart gets attacked. Period. I just feel that way.
mm-hmm.
And you can see it constantly happening in the media, constantly happening in social media, constantly happening on Twitter. But I even the people who still support Tory Lanez, I akin them to QAnon folks, because y'all don't want to know the facts. Y'all don't care about the
Right.
facts. Y'all don't care about logic. Y'all don't care about reason. You just don't like her. You just want to be subscribe to conspiracy theories and all this other stuff. Like people are, I didn't know so many people had law degrees on the internet. Like I was shocked that there were as many lawyers as I saw talking about, oh, he didn't really get charged with shooting her. He got charged with assault with a uh automatic rifle.
So what? A rifle?
Because if he really would have got charged with shooting her, it would have been attempted murder. You know
What?
how many people get shot and it's not attempted murder? But okay. Oh, okay, Matlock.
Not Matlock.
Okay, Olivia
Oh,
Pope. All right. Okay. We
oh my
got you.
goodness. Watch out.
Gotcha on that.
Watch out,
Um,
Mrs. Fletcher.
right. You know, the fact is Megan got shot. Point blank period, bottom line. That's I mean, she got shot. Now, you may want to dispute how she got shot in terms of did he do it intentionally or maliciously or accidentally. That doesn't matter. He shot her, okay? He shot her. And he is going to pay for the crime of shooting her. He got convicted of all three charges. And apparently now the prosecutor is looking to charge him separately for bribery and jury tampering.
Oh,
Witness tampering.
what?
Yes, because
Oh
during the
my.
trial it came out that it's possible that he bribed Kelsey, which was Megan's best friend, to lie on stand. Because they asked her
Oh.
who paid for your lawyer fees. This bitch talking about something. I don't know. You don't have that much money to not know who paid for your lawyer fees, boo. How
Uh-oh.
you don't know who paid for your lawyer?
Wow.
I don't. And
I
so here,
mean, is she that bright though? I mean,
look,
I don't want to say that she is or she isn't. I'm just saying certain life experiences may not have lent her to have some knowledge base of how to handle the situation.
no, I'm sorry. You gonna know who paid for your lawyer fees. Them bills gonna come. Who paying them, bitch? Who's paying them? Somebody. Okay, let's be clear. But I
Oh
I was
goodness.
I was sitting there and I was, you know, just reviewing some of the stuff that came out in trial.
Mhm.
Like I am gonna call a spade a spade. Megan was not the best of friends to Kelsey because apparently this is how things went down. Megan met Tori first.
Uh-huh.
Kelsey was her best friend. Kelsey
Uh-huh.
was feeling Tori. She asked Megan to hook her up with Tori. Megan hooked her up with Tori. Kelsey got COVID, went back to Texas. During the time that she was in Texas, you know, getting recovering from COVID, Megan and
Mhm.
Tori started messing around. When Kelsey came back, it was all hush hush. Don't tell her. Don't do this.
Mm.
Don't do that. They get drunk. Everybody drank a little too much.
Mm.
They go. They leave. How they decided to all leave is still speculation.
Mm.
Megan said it was because her wig was slipping. Her previous stylist did say that her wig was slipping, so they were like, "Let's go."
Right.
Kelsey and Tori said they were leaving for other reasons, but who cares? They left. They got into an argument in the vehicle.
Uh-huh.
He told them to get out. They got out and he started shooting.
Oh
Let me tell
my.
you something. They Kelsey lied on the stand and she should have perjury charges against her
Oh
because
my.
she was interviewed twice before trial and her story was the same. She even said he was beating on her. And now all of a
What?
sudden he ain't touch you. Yeah, she had bruises and everything.
What?
So I'll say this: your
Oh my
friend sleeping with
goodness.
somebody your sneaky link or whatever these new kids say, yeah, that's foul. But is it foul enough to lie about her being physically harmed? No, no. I'm
Oh
not
my
going. No,
goodness.
no, no.
Wow.
These people are
That whole jealousy
yeah. Go back to the
is
jealousy
oh
envy episode because that
yeah.
one is real. And I like I said, some of y'all are really weird. I don't understand why y'all caping for this man. And then his daddy come out. I don't know if you
Mm.
saw the video of his daddy coming out, oh, Rock Nation and Jay-Z. And then his
What?
daddy wife was talking about Beyonce. What Beyonce got to do with this? Beyonce
Wait,
was
what?
home. Yes. Was like, this is all Rock Nation's fault. They bought the jury. They bought the judge. Because she's under Rock Nation management.
So who's protesting this Rock Nation?
His father. Now,
Oh,
let's get into this. His father's name is Sunstar. Tori's name is Daystar. This should just tell you what type of time that family is on. Anyway, people in the comments was calling Tory Lane shooting star. Now, I'm gonna
That's
say
not.
that's wrong, but that's
That's
funny as
not.
shit. They
That's wrong. What Tori ever do to them?
call him shooting star. Then they call his dad on star. Like I just oh, it called on
Oh my
star.
goodness. The
Sorry, so
interwebs. The interwebs, man, will never be defeated.
they won't. I just have
Never
a
be
question.
defeated.
What do you think is the reason why, when it's time to protect Black women, when it's time to take our side, when it's
Hmm.
time to believe us, when it's time to really show up for us, why do you think that Black men and some Black women just don't do it?
I think it goes back to the mentality that I need to protect myself, and we don't feel like we can trust that that person would do it for us. So we just kind of I don't I don't know. I think a lot of black women and this goes I see this all the time, and there's undercutting and backstabbing and chit chat and lack of support for certain things, or the fake support but not really, but like, oh yeah, black
Mm-hmm.
power, blah, blah, blah. And it's all, lip service. But when it comes down to it, you have a conversation with them, they're like, well, how come nobody supports? And I'm like, but you're being two-faced on so many things. And I think people think, well, we can take everything, so whether we get the attention, get the support or not, we'll handle it because we're strong.
Ah, yeah, it's that strong, but, and that's a shame. But if you look, I think I don't know. I feel
We're
like when it
always seen as a protector. Even think about it, from slavery days.
yeah, and the fact that she
Mammy,
didn't, yeah,
she
and the
took a
fact that she
picture.
didn't want to charge him, she didn't want to press charges against him. Because again,
Right.
it's not Megan versus Tory in a civil suit. Okay, this is
Yeah.
not a civil suit. This is the state of California versus Tory Lanez. And this girl was on stand talking about some. She wished she died that night because of the vitriol that people have been spewing towards her for getting shot. You
It's ins
understand what I'm saying? Like, this is a disgusting and disturbing world that we live in. That people are hating her for getting shot,
yeah,
treating her like shit for getting shot,
the victim.
calling
Victim
her,
shaming.
yeah, calling her boyfriend a simp and a sucker because he supports her
What?
for getting shot.
I
Yes.
don't understand. How do people get so invested in some people's lives that they don't know, to the point that the vitriol would come? Like, I've never understood the attachment that you want to inflict so much pain on someone that you don't know.
Because you're unhappy with it. You answer because you're unhappy with yourself. You don't look. And this is what I'm saying about the men and the women who are very much, he didn't do it. I don't care what y'all say. It was set up. Da da da. Even when the facts are right there in front of them, they refuse to believe. Right?
Hmm.
JFK been dead for how many years, and the QAnon folks think he's still alive running the country. You understand what I'm saying? These are the.
Fact.
This is akin to that. Okay, you
Oh.
have. I feel like with a black men, they look at themselves in the mirror and say, "I could never attain a woman like her," and because I could never attain a woman like her, I hate her, and I hate everything she stands for, and any woman that even represents the same thing. Because actually I'm more ashamed that I'm not put together well enough to get a woman like that. That's what I think it is for men. For women, they look
Mhm.
at her as something they want to be, and that pisses them off because they're not that.
I think there's the point of, with some men, and I've heard some men talk about this, the thought of they've been so emasculated for so long
Ah,
that they
yeah.
don't feel that they can protect um the black women as they should. It's kind of like the Willie Lynch
Mhm.
um situation where you just separate the two, where he makes it impossible for him to take care of his family or assume that role that he's supposed to. Um, but I'm not saying that's all where this is coming from, but I think there's been some talk about, well, how do men view their women, as far as, I shouldn't say their women. That's not the correct verbiage. The women that they love, or the women that they're supposed to protect, as society sees it, that they're supposed to have a particular role. When out in the street, they can't do that because of
Hmm.
how society views them and treats them, that they kind of
Ah.
have to repress that machismo, if you will, or the provider mode, because it could get them in situations that they can't get out of. So the only time that they can do that is at home, or at least front to their beloved that that's what's going on. But they're in that battle, where out in the world they're not seen that way. So I
But
think
see,
sometimes that
I
mentally.
guess I don't understand that logic, because then why is it that that vitriol then gets spewed on black women? Like, if that logic would make it seem like that should
I'm
be
saying
towards your
some, not all.
oh, because
No, no,
that
no, not
seems like, yeah, you
absolute.
should. I feel like I don't know. I just feel like we have become, because this isn't well, I'm not going to say this isn't an issue in other races, because I just don't pay attention to the drama that goes on with other races and ethnics. I just don't.
Hmm.
But I feel like it's very okay, case in point, Tiffany Haddish and R. Kelly, right?
Hmm.
We know R. Kelly got convicted on a whole bunch of, I mean, child pornography, just, things that he has been doing for decades, right? We know
Right.
he peed on a girl. We saw that with our own eyes. Again, QAnon. We ain't see that. We still supported him. And even to this day, there's still people who blame the victims
Yep.
and not R. Kelly, right? And there's still people who support him. Now, Tiffany Haddish, I don't know if you had seen that, but she did this skit with Ari Spears. Aries, I think that's his name, a long time
Hmm.
ago. And it was like almost pedophilia. Like, that's what the skit was kind of about. And she's completely canceled. Like, canceled. And there's nobody like support. And I'm not saying that she should be supported. That's not what I'm saying.
Right.
What I'm saying is, she did this one thing. There's no support. Like, Will Packer was like, "Yeah, I want to do a girls too. She absolutely should be in. I can't make a girls trip too without her." There were people in
Right.
the comments, and when they're like, "Hell no, she's canceled." Nobody was like
What?
supporting her. And I'm like, wow. Even in situations where both of these people are wrong, and wrong for basically kind of like, I'm not saying they did the same thing, but it's still the level of ickiness and creepiness.
Right.
And y'all still talk about some R. Kelly. I'm not gonna stop listening to his music. I'm not gonna stop doing this. If he drop an album, I'm gonna listen to it.
Hmm.
Wow. That right there was telling to me. Cause I was like, y'all really, really, really
what's the measurement? What's the
right.
benchmark for
What is
y'all?
the benchmark? Because R. Kelly's crimes were not done in the dark. They were done right in front of you. Tiffany Haddish had a video, and the messed up thing is, not even messed up, but y'all know what I'm saying. The reason why it was even brought out wasn't even about her. It was about Ari Spears and some shit he said about Lizzo. So people went digging into his past and found the
Oh,
video, and then Tiffany Haddish got dragged into it, and now she's done. Career over. She's doing back to doing stand up.
what?
And not to say it like that, but stand up in the she just she just started stand up. Not like Kevin Hart stand up, not like she said she lost
Hmm.
everything.
Really?
Netflix shit, everything. Movies, everything. She was supposed to be playing Florence Griffith Joyner, Flojo in a movie.
Wow.
She's like, they took everything from her. And I'm not saying that she didn't deserve. I'm not saying that. I'm not even going to give my opinion on it. But I'm just saying that is a clear that is
Yeah,
a clear example of how
the
we will
measurement.
treat it's a different measure.
The bar is in a different place.
It definitely is. So I just
Hmm.
hope that y'all just And the thing is, the last thing I wanted to say on this, if it was Kylie Jenner, if it was Kylie Jenner,
Mm.
how would this situation have played out? Not like this. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Not like this, baby. Mm-mm.
It would have gone in a different direction.
A very different direction. That's all I'm gonna say. And I'm just tired of it. Like, and that's why I say I have no. I'm not gonna argue with y'all incels online. Like, argue with your mama, not me. Okay.
Ah, that part, that part right there.
Argue with your mama, not
Mm.
me.
Some
So
people
I'm
just take
gonna
a little too crazy.
yes. So I'm gonna jump into something else real quick. I'm gonna skip what is on here next, but jump into something else.
Yeah.
So over the holiday break, we found out that Diddy and Lakeith Stanfield both have children. Diddy's
Hmm.
supposed to be dating uh city girl, what's her name?
Oh.
Young Miami.
Uh huh.
And Lakeith is engaged to someone that apparently he's been with for 5 months, and popped out, and his child's mother was like, I have a baby with him and he don't see her. So I'm just gonna say I have this is the question I posed, right? Because this is rich people problems, but these are also things that happen in middle
Regular
America,
people
right?
life. Yeah, this is middle America. Just turn on any of those shows
Any
during
and each
daytime TV.
yes, each situation is different, right? Because
Hmm.
Diddy, I feel like Diddy and Young Miami situation, they're dating. So if I'm dating you, I'm not exclusive. If we've had a conversation and I
Right.
said we are dating, but I'm going to be dating other people and you can date other people, then what he
Yeah.
does when he's dating, why do people make a big deal about it? People are like, oh, you getting played, Young Miami. How? They're dating.
It's
That's not her
dating.
man. She even tells you that's not my man, but he's my man.
Right.
They're dating. Let's just say they're dating.
Right.
So
They're
if
not
he's doing,
exclusively
they're
dating.
not exclusively dating. So what he does and what happens while they're not exclusively dating is what happens. But then on Keith's side, he's engaged, and it's just miraculously as soon as he gets engaged, then the child's mother want to come out and be like, "Well, hello, bitches," and try to and some people are saying that she's bitter, and she probably is, right? Because
Yes.
she said he only been with her for 5 months, but it don't matter how long they've been together. We can see that. We on Instagram, we know how long
Right.
they've been together. You ain't have to inform us that, but why now did you decide to come out and say I'm his child's mother and he don't see the child? Because if he because the child is almost 1 years old, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah.
What how long has it been? Just the 5 months that he's been with this woman, or before that? Because if he wasn't doing it before then, why didn't you come out before that? But that's
Right.
neither here nor there.
All of a sudden.
The
All of a
question I want
sudden.
all of a sudden, the question I want to pose is, given this situation, could you do that? Could you date a man with a newborn or a child? Like, what is the cutoff?
I'm gonna say no, and that's a hard no. Hard no. I have experience in this area, and I say F no. F frickin' no. Okay? Okay. I did part of my thesis on this shit. Oh, and oh. No.
Yeah, but
No.
what age? At what age would you be okay?
5. 5. And I dead ass asked those questions. I'm like, how old is your child? I'm sorry, I can't date you.
I don't see how
Really?
you. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
no, I'm just dead
yeah.
ass.
I can't date anybody with a newborn. And I'm gonna be honest, I got a 5-year-old. I don't think I can. Them kids got to be like 10, 30.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm just here to tell you.
No, I would say that definitely a 5 is a cutoff. But when then the second question I would ask is, when did y'all break up?
Fair point. Fair point.
Because if
That's
the
the
child is
caveat.
5 and y'all just broke up a year ago, I can't do that. I wouldn't be able. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm married, but I'm saying if I was single and I was in the dating realm, I would not.
Right. That's too soon. Mm-mm. All I'm saying is just be careful.
Right.
Be careful. I done told y'all something about stories. And it started with dating somebody who had a near newborn. So I have a bit of a bad taste in my mouth.
But I couldn't do that because where would And what's the story behind that? Why aren't you with, like, you? No, I couldn't. But okay, so that question aside, but if
Because
you're
that
not,
was kind of like that break. Like that's what I'm saying. Like, did that?
mm-hmm,
How long were they together before then?
yeah.
So if they
What if it
or
was a
did
break
they
baby?
was it a break baby or do they know that they even had the baby? What if it was in one night hit it or quit it?
That's what I'm saying. What if it was a break baby? What if it was a one night stand? I still couldn't do it. And it's not because I don't, and I'm not judging, right?
Hmm.
It's just that if I'm trying to be serious with you, how serious can you be with me with a newborn and then you trying to navigate co-parenting? You haven't even figured out your co-parenting situation yet.
Yeah, it's a
You
lot.
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Now, that's in a situation I would think like, well, for Keith Stansfield, right? They're getting married, he's getting married to somebody else that's not his child's mother. That's a bit much. In the Diddy Young Miami situation, if I'm not looking to marry you, then I guess it don't matter, because
right.
I'm not looking to be with you in that capacity, so you can have newborn twins. It ain't gonna make me no difference.
Don't make me no never mind.
But I don't know. This new generation, I don't know what y'all be doing out here. I it's just
That's a
not it's
lot.
yes, it's like the dating pool has pee in it, and I'm woo.
Oh Lord.
This is
It's a bit I think it's just you think about how people don't know how to communicate with each other effectively
mhm.
anymore. They are so easily influenced by what they see on TV of how they think things should be, and stuff on TV is ratchet.
Yeah.
So that's when stuff doesn't go their way, you know, it's like what and then folks don't know how to be straight up with folks.
That's true too. Like if he told you from the beginning, look, I got a child on the way, this is
Right.
what it is, and if you still decide to rock with it, then
Mhm.
that's your business.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
if you don't tell somebody and then this woman show up at the door with
Surprise!
a newborn, like, we gonna have some problems. And how serious, like, why are you, I don't understand why you out here dating if you got a newborn. Just sit your ass at home and take care of that child. But I guess again with Diddy, he got so much money. What difference does it make? Like, I
It's
could do it all. I
yeah,
could do it all.
I guess he's bored, maybe. Something to do.
Take care of that baby. That's what you could do.
I mean, I'm just saying, maybe that's
Eh,
you know,
I don't
he's
know.
past his I don't know, girl.
But
Some folks.
it's not, it's like I said, it's rich folk business. But I just was curious, like, and then, you know what? I think I would like to hear from you guys, our listeners, if you would be able to date somebody with a newborn, or what age do you say, if I'm out here dating and the person you're dating has a child, what age do you be like, nah, that's too young. You might still got ties
Mm,
with your child's mother, or do
mm.
you be like, well, I'm not looking for anything serious, it don't really matter?
All I'm saying is postpartum depression can last for 5 years, and that is sometimes tied to the connection that the mother and father have with the child, whether there is one or the impact it has on each other. And I saw that firsthand, and I was like, for me, I'm good. Thanks. But some people could
Yeah,
do it. Some people could do it. But yeah, that's just real.
yeah. It wouldn't be fun. It would be a no for me, dog. It
Ooh,
would be a no for
I do
me.
not recommend on the second.
I do not recommend
I
it.
do not recommend.
No. So okay, so moving on to the next thing, I was
Yeah.
watching. I was scrolling through Instagram, and I saw a clip of Taraji P Henson on Angie Martinez's podcast, and
Hmm.
the particular clip, the clip in question was talking about being purely happy, and Taraji P Henson saying that
Hmm.
she hasn't been purely happy in a very long time. And I had a
Hmm.
conversation with a friend, and she indicated that she doesn't believe in pure happiness. There's no such thing. That it's an illusion, and people are
Hmm.
chasing an illusion, and that's why we're really unhappy, because you're chasing something that's not attainable anyway. You are looking for the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, and you don't find it, and that's why you're not happy, right?
Hmm.
I feel like the opposite, right? I feel, well, let me pose this. Do you think And is pure happiness real? Is it attainable?
I think in different portions of your life, not overall blanket. And you take those pockets of happiness and make it amazing, I think. So let's say you are artistic and you love dancing. That's and what you bring to that is pure bliss for you. But then you got to go work at a diner down the street. You're like, this sucks.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think I don't know if there's a absolute happiness, but I think there's moments and pockets of time that you do achieve that
I said this.
pure
Yeah.
happiness.
I said, and in the conversation that that I had with our friend, I said, I do believe that you can achieve pure happiness, right? You
Mhm.
can achieve it, but for small periods of time. It's not something that's going to last for a very long time. And the
Mhm.
only reason why we can even have a conversation about pure happiness, because to know that pure happiness exists, you've had to experience the opposite of that.
Right.
So there has to be a yin and a yang, right? I personally feel like if you've ever been the lowest of the low, you have to be able to get to the highest of the high. You understand what I'm saying? If the lowest
Mhm.
of the low exists, the highest of the high has to exist. And neither one of those for most people lasts for a very long time. Of
Right.
course
Because
we
it's
know.
because everything changes. It's cyclical.
Right,
You
right,
can't be at this s- particular level all the time, forever and ever.
right. I
There's
mean,
got
she
to be
did.
some little ups and downs.
Right. She did say the things that make her, and I feel like there's two separate conversations that she was having. She
Mhm.
said the things that made her, that she thought made her happy, don't make her happy anymore. I think that's a
Okay.
separate conversation from pure
Yeah.
happiness, right? There
Agreed.
is, and people experience pure happiness in different ways at different times, right?
Mhm.
Pure happiness could have, I feel like I experienced pure happiness when I had my child, right? When I had Charlie.
Mhm.
But in that was also fear, and there was a lot of
Mhm.
unknown. It was scary time too because I had to have her early. um I feel like, but every mother doesn't have that moment of pure happiness
Mhm.
when first seeing their child and meeting their
Yep.
child, right? They don't. Um, some people have pure happiness on their wedding day, right?
Yep.
The pure bliss and just utter. I'm so I'm
Filled.
just so filled with happiness. I don't think I could get any happier than this.
Mhm.
So I feel like pure happiness is real and is attainable, but you cannot sustain that for a very long time.
Right.
And I feel like hopefully, I don't know what her belief is with pure happiness. I don't know what her definition of pure happiness really is.
Mhm.
Um
If
fully, right?
right.
But I don't think, yeah, you can get it. You'll have some pure happiness, but maybe what you're really looking for is just being content with the simple things in life, being
From the
happy
day
with the
to
simple.
day.
Right. Like,
And when those peaks come, you appreciate them all the more.
right. Like, and what are you really, and I feel like if you're asking yourself this question now, if you're sitting and you're like, wow, yeah, I wonder, do I think real happiness is attainable? Do I think it's real? What are you trying to find? Like, what are
Mhm.
you looking for?
What
Right.
would that qualify? What's the end goal?
Right. Because my happiness is going to look different from you. Like,
Mhm.
what for you, what is pure? Okay, let me ask you this. What for you is pure happiness? Do you know? Do you know if you saw it, what pure happiness would be?
I've had moments. I
Name
know
one
that.
moment that you feel like you had pure happiness.
When I was able to get out of bed and walk
But
after
that's
brain surgery.
okay. That,
Yeah.
but when you look at that, right, that's not something that would happen every single day,
Right.
right?
That's for
Or
that moment.
for that moment,
For that
right?
specific moment in time.
Right.
That's a lot. Yeah. That was one time that sticks out for me.
And that's good, right? That is, but so that is a really good example of what pure happiness is, and you know that because you know how bad it felt to not be able to walk. So that's
Right.
what I'm saying. There has to be, if there's a yin to a yang, there has to be. You can't have a low without a high. You can't
I
have a
think it's
left
how
without
you
a right.
handle those lows determines how more appreciative you are of the
And
highs.
right. And so maybe that's the issue. Maybe we don't handle our lows. Well, you know what I say, y'all need to go to therapy. But a lot of us don't handle our
Mhm.
lows appropriately and properly. So we
Right.
don't when happiness does come, we can't even acknowledge it cuz we
You know
don't
what?
know that
Because you know
that's
what
what
it
it
looks
looks
like.
like.
Mhm. That's true. I mean, and that translates on so many levels with so many things. Like you folks get elevated to a point and then they cannot leave where they elevated from. Not to say that you cut off where you were from, but you evolve and you
Right.
keep that line of communication and that lifeline open so it's a free flowing type of pathway. But you can't you can't continue to elevate if something keeps keeping you in the blocking what you should learn on the way.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. I feel like I have had
Mhm.
low lows, and I've had very high highs. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And I've
Mhm.
learned though, over I've learned not to chase happiness.
Yeah.
I've learned to
Contentment.
right. I've learned to reframe and restructure what I thought happy was, and maybe that's what
Mhm.
ultimately she's trying to get to,
Right.
because the things I can see how the things that probably made her happy before don't make her happy now because they weren't fulfilling, right?
Right.
They're not
At that moment
filling
in
you
time.
right. Or yeah, they're not filling you up. What are how are they putting they're not pouring into you in a
Mhm.
positive way.
And
N-
sustainable way. As soon
In a
as they
sense,
come in, they
right.
leave.
Right.
Or there's a
Right.
time stamp on it.
Right. So I also I think that's another question I'm gonna pose to our listeners. Like, do you think that pure happiness is real or attainable? Can you and for how long do you think you can sustain it? Or
Mhm.
how long do you feel like you could potentially be okay with experiencing it, right?
Right.
Would you be okay with just having pure happiness for one day?
Mm.
For an hour? For 10 minutes?
Right. Or would you want it broken up for this area?
Hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or would you like it broken up for over here? So it's not just one area of your life where you can experience it.
I see what you're saying. So like would you want pure happiness just at work?
Right.
And maybe not so much in your personal life, you're not looking for pure happiness, but you're looking for
Right.
pure happiness work. Or maybe you don't care about what's happening. Um Work is fine, but you want to experience pure happiness in in your life, in your day to day, in your
Mhm.
relationship. I got you. I got you. Um that's something to ponder. Um, and then again, scrolling through Instagram, I saw Grace Byers. A lot of you may know her better as Boo Boo Kitty. Some of you may know her more recently in the show Harlem on Amazon.
Mm.
Not what
Is
is it
it
on Amazon
Netflix?
Prime? No, it's on Amazon
Amazon?
Prime or Hulu. It's one of those two.
Okay.
Good show by the way. Um, but she made a post around New Year's, and I'm gonna say this was on Amazon Prime. I stopped making New Year's resolutions. I
Mhm.
don't make New Year's resolutions anymore. I
Me
just
neither.
say on New Year's, I'm open to receive whatever the universe chooses to bless me with. And that's
Mhm.
it.
Ashe.
I don't make any more resolutions. I don't, right? So she posted something about the changes she's making in 2023. So I'm going to read some of these and we'll get into them. She says she's no longer entertaining relationships that are one sided, being the only one to check in, to make plans, to nurture connections. She's creating more room for ease, joy, excitement in her life by doing things just for me that I like. I'm no longer healing to survive and get by. And when I read that, I was like, whoa, let me run that back and read it again. And I'm going to run it
Mhm.
back right now and read it to you all again. I am no longer healing to survive and get by. That's deep.
Ooh.
Um, I'm saying no to things I'm no longer interested in without over explaining, and yes to things that fill me up without self doubt in tow. And I feel like this is in connection to what Taraji P. Henson was talking about with, when we're talking about the pure happiness, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the one thing I saw said, I'm no longer healing to survive and get by.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That shook me to my core because there are so many of us who are healing
Mm,
just to survive and get by, not to thrive.
right. And
We're
build
not
on it
healing to thrive.
and grow and blossom. You just trying to scrape and exist.
That is deep.
It is. And I think it's more common than not.
Oh, absolutely.
Hmm.
Oh, absolutely.
Definitely more common than not.
Absolutely. But
I
when I
think
looked at,
more people are in this state. And
especially
some
now,
realize it and some I don't think are, they're kind of like paddling, trying to think that they're swimming.
yeah, I see that. Um, I like the changes, and because I align myself with a lot of these, right? I said it in the beginning. I'm not. Time is short. I'm about quality and not quantity. Um, so I'm not going to entertain
Hmm.
any relationship that's one sided. I'm not
So let
going
me
to.
ask you this
Okay.
about that, because some of these they do resonate with me as well. But when I saw that with the check-in,
Mhm.
at what point do you stop checking in out of
Mhm.
worry, or of hey, what's up going on, and then it goes to worry? Um, like, and I've seen some people break up relationships where I've been calling you, I've been talking to you, but that person was going through something
Mhm.
that they really were not in a space to share. And now that whole relationship has been dissolved because that person unfortunately was going through what they were going through, that maybe was something they couldn't control, and now this person just written them off. And I know that's like a lot, probably not in the sense of this, so to speak, but sometimes when people see check in, they're like, well, girl, I've been calling you, checking in, I ain't heard from you, da 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 da. Then it's the person who just calls all the time to complain, not to check in with you.
Okay, so that's two parts. It's so so what I'm hearing is two things. If I'm wrong, let me know. One, it's if I'm checking in and you're not responding, at what
Hmm.
point do I just say
Right.
I'm done?
Where it equates to what's being said here about one-sided
Right.
relationships.
And what about people who check in but then just talk to you about, it's
Them.
more about them and not really about you?
Hmm.
Those are both one-sided relationships, right? But I
Hmm.
feel like as a friend, I feel like there is an obligation. Like if I'm going through something and I see that you're checking in on me, I feel like I don't have to get into it with you in that moment what
Hmm.
I'm going through.
Right.
However, if I see that you're checking in and I know as a friend that you really are concerned about what is happening with me, then I am going to ease your mind for a moment and just say, "Hey, thank you for checking in. I'm going through some things right now. I don't want to talk about it. When I come up for air, you'll be the first person I call." I've done that. I've
Hmm.
had people call
Them too.
me and I'll just text, "Hey, I don't really feel like talking right now. When I do feel like talking, I'll circle back around."
Yep.
And I feel like that reciprocity is needed to keep a healthy relationship,
Agreed.
friendship, right? Um, so that's the one part.
Hmm.
And I feel like you're doing, if the person who's constantly checking in, right? If your friend isn't at least giving you a, a crumb, then that is a one-sided relationship you might need to reevaluate. Because again, I hold all my friends to a standard. Just
Hmm.
tell me you're alive. You don't got to talk to me, but just acknowledge that hey, yes, I'm going through something. I can't talk about it right now. I don't want to talk about it right now. When I do, I'll hit you up, and then I'll
Right.
stop. Then I'll stop checking in, right?
Right.
Or I may be like, okay,
Good.
I've checked in once a week. I'll check in once a month now,
Hmm.
or I'll check in every 2 weeks. Okay. um if you're the friend who is only checking in so that you can talk about your problems, then you need to figure your life out and
Right.
stop calling me, because I'm not the one or the two.
Because
Because
some
I
people
don't.
don't realize that.
Right.
They don't mean to do that, but they think they're calling to check in. Their intention is that.
Right.
But when the things get on the phone, sometimes that doesn't happen,
Then
and
that's
I
not a friend. Then I feel like that's not a friend.
yeah,
And and I feel like, you know, that's just not somebody. Again, you nurture your connections. You got
agree.
to. And that's not nurturing your connection. That is you being self-centered and not really caring about what's going on with me, but just trying to
Mhm.
use me as an avenue to vent.
Right. And I
That's not
brought
a
all
friend.
that up to, like, give different scenarios of that where you could find yourself in as far as checking in. It's not an absolute.
Right.
There's different situations where it applies,
Right.
to still make sure that you're maintaining your self-care, but there's different ways to go about it.
Yeah. And then look, I understand like we all go through shit. And y'all know I've been very candid and open about like just me and my anxiety and my depression and how that can sneak up on me at times. And, there are triggers that I, understand now fully. This is a trigger for me, or this situation, this scenario can be a trigger for me. Um and um, but and I have a friend. You can ask Tisha. She'll tell you. Tisha, if Tisha has not talked to me in a day or two, she'll hit me up like, "You good?" And I'll be like, "I just don't feel like talking right now." But I used to do that in college. Y'all used to
Yeah.
laugh, and I'd be on my sabbatical. I'm like, I'm on my sabbatical.
Yeah, she
That's
really
just
was. She
me.
really did, y'all.
I would
But, like,
be
we on her sabbatical right now.
Yeah. Oh, Reef is on sabbatical. That
Yeah.
meant I just needed to be by myself. I've always been that way, but I've always let people know because I understand as a friend, if your friend is looking out, is trying to figure out if they can do anything, or
Right.
just trying to check in with you to see if you're okay, the least I can do is just say, no, I'm not. I will be. I'll hit you up later.
Mhm.
Personally. So for me, if I feel like that, like I check in, and there are people with like Tisha and Nick. Tisha I talk to probably every day.
Mhm.
Nikki I probably talk to every other day, right? I When we're recording, we talk probably like twice a week, right?
Mhm. Right.
There are people that I check in with them maybe once a month, every 3 months. Yeah, Natalie don't answer. First of all, Natalie don't even answer her phone.
You
So
know how many calls I get a
I'll
day? And
call
it'd be
and check.
like, oh, but
Yeah, Natalie don't answer her phone, and I'll be like, I'll be like, is Natalie alive? Does anybody know? I'll call around, and if somebody say, yeah, she okay, well then all right, and that's it, and
I
that's it.
appreciate you. Appreciate
Um,
y'all.
but I feel like the one thing I think I want a lot of people to kind of focus on with what we just talked about is, are you healing currently to survive and get
Mhm.
by, or are you healing to thrive?
Mm.
Because that is deep.
That is very poignant words.
Because a lot of us are healing
Those
from
are
shit,
rather.
and we're barely above water,
Just barely. You just
and we
got
don't
that
even
little
realize it.
bubble.
Like you said, we're just trying to get by day to day.
Yeah.
And I want us to kind of do some self-reflection. I want us to do some reflection in that, and kind of
Mhm.
think, because there are a lot of people who have literally been healing to survive and get by, and that just didn't work for them, and they're no
Right.
longer here
And
with
they're
us.
stuck. Right.
They're stuck, or they're no longer here with us because
Exactly.
that took over, right? It manifested itself in suicidal thoughts
Mhm.
that then manifested themselves into action. It
Right.
manifested itself into illness, which then manifested itself
Yeah,
into death. You understand what I'm saying? Like, are you healing to thrive?
that's
I want to
real.
heal. I've been healing to thrive, baby. And let me tell you,
Ooh, there you
I
go.
don't do that anymore. I don't heal to survive and get by. I used to, and let me tell you, as somebody who did that,
Mm,
it will take you down every time. If you don't really
girl.
do the work to heal, to move forward and
And it's a
thrive,
lot of work, y'all.
it's a lot of work.
Ongoing. Because you're going to backslide sometimes. It's a
You going to
dynamic process. It's never ending.
never ending, and it's one of those things that we talk about on here all the time. It's hard work.
Mm,
You will get to a point. I know a lot of people that I have recommended therapy to that have stopped because they just got to that point where, and everybody reaches that point. It's that pinnacle moment when you really gotta. It's like you did the nice cutesy talk, yeah, 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 and now you got to get real. Now you got to smell your own shit, and people don't like that.
uh,
Now you got to call yourself out.
Facts. That is
And people
hard.
don't want to do that. I'd
It's
rather call
short of a
myself out than
breakthrough.
you. Yeah. I'd rather call myself out than you. You know why? Because then you can't never tell me shit about me because I already know. You ain't
Right.
never, let me tell you, you ain't got to tell me nothing about me, honey, because I know it all, okay? Let's be clear. I remember, my husband hates that I say this, but I remember when my husband and I first started dating, and I shared everything. I said, "This is me, okay? Here are all the flaws. Here's everything, okay? If I let it all out, so you can't say if something go left, you can't say I ain't
Didn't
tell you.
know.
I told you
Hmm. Mm.
everything because I feel like that's what." Oh, Siri, shut up! Ain't nobody asked you to join the conversation. Sorry, my.
Seriously, I wanna chime in.
Because let me tell you, one thing I realize is that a lot of demise for a lot of relationships, whether it's friendships,
Hmm.
whether it's intimate relationships, even familiar relationships, is that there's a lack of communication, and so people hold
Ooh, but are
secrets
they
and they
people?
hold.
Yes, but are people hearing or are they listening to respond, or are they actually hearing what's being said when it
Well,
comes to
that,
communication?
but then the communication and sharing information,
Yeah,
and just
in
sharing
all
information.
ways.
Families keep secrets.
Ooh,
You know what I'm saying? Relationships, you keeping secrets. That shit's
yeah,
gonna come out. So just lay it all out and let that person make the decision for themselves as to whether or not they want to
yes,
move forward or not.
it always
That's what I'm
does.
telling you. Let me tell you something, baby. You
Always
can't tell
does.
Zarifa shit about Zarifa because Zarifa knows everything. Okay? I did the work. So don't come at me because I'm going to come at me before you do.
I'll be ready, ready for
I'm
you.
ready. Okay? That's why say these, all the things. You saying anything about me, it does not hurt my, like, it literally, you could say whatever you want to say about me. It's not going to hurt my feelings. One, because it's words. But two, I
Right?
know me. Ain't shit you can say. I know who I am. Like, seriously, flaws and all. Ain't shit you can say.
But you gotta think about the work until for you to get there,
Well, it took a lot. It did. You could say something to me today, and I'm like, yeah, you're right. And so what?
right?
What else you got? You can't say, but see, and this is how you know. I don't want to keep, you know, harboring on this, but that's when you know somebody is healed and thriving
Hmm.
versus somebody who is trying to heal and survive and just in survival mode. If somebody tells you about yourself and you get offended, you have not done the work, baby. You
Mm.
have not done the work.
Cause some that denial. Mm.
Now, it's different when somebody's telling you something that you know is not true about yourself. That's different.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, you're gonna be defensive. That's different. But if you tell me
But
something that I know about myself, I'ma laugh
when you're
because I'm
getting
like,
called to the table and you're like, well,
okay,
um, maybe,
right. Oh,
and
Zarifa, you stubborn. And I
right.
know. Oh,
But you
Zarifa,
got to get
you,
to know that about yourself.
yeah, you got a smart mouth. I think I told you that before.
Before.
Oh, Zarifa, you just are, you know, you're just hard headed. Okay, there's nothing you can say about me that I don't already know. So you're not gonna
Hmm.
hurt my feelings, but because I've healed to thrive, not to survive and get by. But that's it. But there's one more thing that I want to get to. There's a lot of stuff we didn't get to, but
Yeah.
the last thing that I wanted to get into was I think this is from Zora Neale Hurston. If it's not,
Hmm.
uh, if I misquoted it, please let me know. But um, the question was there are years that ask questions and years that answer. Which was 22 for you? A year that
Hmm.
asked questions or a year that answered questions?
Oh, mine was a lot of asking questions for sure.
Mm,
A lot of,
okay.
lot of, lot of question asking happened in
Now, were they good
2022.
question asking or
They
bad
ran the
question?
gamut,
Okay, okay,
the
okay.
full
Gotcha,
spectrum.
gotcha. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha,
Hmm.
gotcha. Um, what do you want 2023 to be?
Um, an enriching journey on the way to get those answers. So that I'm
Mm,
not like you find something out and you get bitter, and then what? Take the
Mhm.
information and process it and figure out a different way to look at it and say, okay, I can bring this into another space in my life going forward.
Gotcha.
You see what
That
I'm saying?
that's beautiful because a
Thanks.
lot of people ain't gonna do that. Um,
Right. It's a react. It's not to knee jerk. It's a be
right. Not a knee
prepared
jerk.
to
Got
go
you.
with it.
I feel like for me, 2022, that's this is I thought about this and I couldn't figure out whether it was questions or answers. I
Mhm.
feel like there were a lot more questions for me this
Mm.
year. And not bad questions, just like
Mhm.
questions, right? Like, will my student loans be forgiven?
Right.
Will I get a new car? Right? Some of those were
Right.
answered also in 2023. Will I get a new car? Yes. Will my student loans be forgiven? A bitch still don't know. So,
Well, he'll answering the phone. Okay, y'all. They are not
uh,
answering the phone.
we getting there. We getting close. We getting
Yeah.
close.
We appreciate
But
you.
yes. So I feel like I want, here's the thing. I want 2020, 2023, which is everybody's Jordan year. That's what the thing is to say. I want 2023 to be a year of answers, but I
Mm,
still would like to have some questions along the way
mm.
because questions lead to knowledge.
They
And I
do.
don't ever want to stop learning.
Touche.
Okay? I don't ever want to stop learning.
Do
I don't
people want to
want,
learn nowadays? Because I feel they don't.
no, no, they don't.
I feel like
They
people
don't.
just want to be dumb. Just
Right.
dumb. Just because, for the sake of being dumb, get a bag. Don't know how they're going to get the bag. Don't know how to sustain the bag. But just be happy being dumb.
Yeah. I feel like I said, for me, and knowledge can come in different ways, right? I want to
Hmm.
be, like you said, enlightened. If there are things that I don't know that I need to know, I want to be able to get those questions. Those questions. I want the universe to bring me those questions to ask,
Hmm. Yes.
right? Um,
And in
if
the
they're
space to receive them
right,
once those answers are
exactly,
presented. Because you
exactly,
could be presented all the time, and I'm sure we've all done this,
and
and
be
it's staring us in
prepared.
the face, and be
Yes,
prepared
I want to be.
to
Yes,
receive it and be able to acknowledge it or notice it and
right.
receive it.
Because there are sometimes you have to be prepared for the questions that you need to ask, right?
Hmm.
There are people who, are going through um relationship problems right now, right? And they need to ask the question, but they have to be prepared to ask the question, you know
Right. And for the
and
answer.
then get the answer, right? Be prepared for whatever that answer is. So for
Yeah.
me, I want to receive the answers that I did not receive in 2022.
Hmm.
But then I also want to be, if there are questions that I need to ask, I want those questions to be presented to me during 2023.
Agreed. I
That's
concur.
what I want. And I asked that to I did ask that on Instagram, I think, but I'll ask it again. Like, what do you want
Yeah, you
2023 to
did.
be, and what was 2022 for you?
Hmm.
Because I think that's important, because I think that helps you determine how the year is going to shape up for you, right?
Yeah.
Because if it's going to be if it's going to be, it's still about preparation. If it's going to be a year full of answers, prepare yourself for those answers.
Yeah. Prepare them. Prepare yourself for those answers. Are you really ready to receive them? And how are you going to react?
Yes,
And what
it's
is
a
your position going to be?
that is a good way to do a vision board.
Yes. And I just did three
I
of
haven't done
them.
mine yet. Granted, it's already. I'm gonna do it.
It's all
Um,
right. I just finished my two on Thursday.
yeah, I'm going to get to it. I feel like I also need to relook. One of the things that I do not do, and I should that I don't do regularly, but I wound up doing it a few weeks ago, and I was like, damn. Going back and looking at my vision board and seeing how much of that shit I actually accomplished,
Yeah.
because I looked at my um 2023. I
Uh-huh.
mean, 2023. Bitch, what are you talking about? 2022.
Uh,
Um, and there were a lot of things on that I actually
accomplished.
accomplished. That
Yeah.
I was like, wow, I got that. Like, I had put something, a bag that I really wanted. I put that on my vision board. I got
Okay.
that. I was like, I want to live more and stress less. I feel like this was the least stressful year that I've
Look at
had. I
that.
still had stress. Don't get it twisted, but it was the least amount of stress that I have experienced
Right.
as opposed to years prior. Um, you know, the I've really worked at self continuing to participate in self-love.
Mhm.
Um, you
Me too.
know,
I'm doing that this year. I have my massages and facials planned out for the next 2, 3 months.
yes, lose. I did lose weight. Not.
Congrats.
I try. And let's be clear. A lot of that was because the half of the end of the year was trash for me. From September to December, I went from having COVID to bronchitis
Right.
to then
Ain't
a
nobody
head
got time
cold
for that.
to a flu. So that all helped in a significant amount of weight loss. So that we gonna add that. We gonna add that there.
Right then there.
Yes, I practice a lot more gratitude
Mhm.
this year. Last year, 2022, I did that. So there are a lot of things I had on my vision board from last year that I actually put into practice and
Good.
actually came to fruition. So and the funny thing is, everybody that I had on my vision board, like the people that I looked up to, that I had great big years. And because I had Beyonce on there, I had Viola Davis, I had Lizzo, I had Issa Rae. So these women had really big years
Wow.
in 2022. So I kind of felt like I channeled a lot of that energy from
Okay.
them into me. So, but yeah,
Get that vision on.
yeah, get that vision board on. So
Mhm.
that's it for us.
Right.
I'm hoping that this episode comes out okay, because like, ooh, it was hard to come back.
Yeah. Just make sure y'all are taking care of yourself because I definitely
Mhm.
made a commitment to do all of that this year
Yeah.
consistently and be more organized and writing everything down and getting stuff financially situated and looking at just ahead to plan to be a little bit less stressed,
Mhm.
and kind of let things fall where they may.
Yeah. Well,
So,
okay.
but so we're gonna take a break and then you come back with your Dalai Lama.
No, we just gonna go straight to that. We going straight to the outro. We out.
All righty then. Hey now.
Ain't no Dalai Lama stuff because we already said the Dalai Lama stuff pretty much in the, you know, heal to thrive and not that's what the Dalai Lama said.
That
The hood Dalai Lama tell y'all to heal to thrive and not to survive.
Thank y'all for joining us this week on Sipping Tea with Nat and Z. You can follow us on IG at Sipping Tea _ Nat and Z _pod, and on Facebook at Sipping Tea Nat and Z to get information on our upcoming podcast topics and guests and news. So thanks again for listening. Catch us next episode where we talk about healing our inner child. Have a good week, y'all. Happy New Year.